Hi, my name is Tina Smith. I have a business called Cherished Moments, Wedding and Event Specialist. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I now live in Charlotte, have lived here for 18 years, and today we're going to be talking about me and my story about being a cancer survivor. Well, in 2008, my husband and I were returning from a family vacation, and my husband was not in the best, mood, and he wanted to talk to me about some things about my health. And one of the things was, he said, I need to show you something. And his thing was, Tina, I will need you to go in the bathroom with me, and I want to show you something that I felt on my own body. And he made me check my breast, and we found a lump. And sure and behold, he let me feel it, and it was a lump. It was very detectable. So he said, I need for you to go to the doctor, and I made a doctor's appointment rather quickly. And when I went to the doctors, they immediately sent me to Presbyterian for a mammogram. And during the time with the mammogram, they did it, and the nurse came back and said, the doctor wants to have a biopsy done, and he wants to do it today. And I thought, well, hey, okay, whatever you say. And I never had a biopsy, so I wasn't sure what it was going to entail, but I was on lunch break, and I went ahead with the biopsy. It was somewhat painful, but necessary. After the biopsy, they were like, we're going to let you know what's going on, and that was a Friday. So by Tuesday, Presbyterian was calling me, but my doctor, I called him and I said, well, I thought you wanted to give me the results. And he said, I do, and I need for you to come to the office, you and your husband. So I said, okay. So Ken and I went, and lo and behold, he took us in the room, and he said, I need to tell you that you have breast cancer. I was devastated, obviously, so was my husband. But I had a moment, I thought about it, and at that time, my doctor was wonderful. And I always recommend, if you have a great doctor, you'll be fine. But he literally had people come in the room, his nurses, stop his practice. He had patients, but he closed the door, and they began to pray for my husband and I, and for my health, which was wonderful. That kind of gave me the backbone to say, okay, you know what, you're going to be fine, and you don't need to worry about this. It's going to be great. So the process started, from that Tuesday on. That was August of 2008. By October 1st, I had had a lumpectomy, and I had 12 lymph nodes removed. And after that, I was fortunate enough to where I didn't have to have chemo, but I did have to have radiation. And I had to have 34 sessions. And within those sessions, a lot of the things that I learned during the way were, there were a lot of people that really cared about me, who really looked out for me, especially at Presbyterian. There was one lady, when I was having my surgery, she came down that day. I did not know her, but she was wonderful. She gave me a pillow. They had made me with my name on it, and it also had affirmations to tell me things to stay strong, be positive, and so that just kind of stuck with me from that point on. And during my treatments, I had another moment where I was going to my treatments. I had them every day at lunchtime. A lot of people didn't know that I even had cancer at work, because I felt like, and I knew through my mom, that your spirit, your mind, all that plays the biggest part in your survival. So I was always happy. I try to stay positive. Radiation can wear you down, but daily, no one even knew that I was even going through all that. But I was going to the treatment and had an accident like right at Presbyterian, and literally in the driveway. And I had a moment, and I was okay with it. I was entitled to it. But at that time, when the nurse came and got me, and they took me back to where I normally have my treatments, she was like, Tina, we can wait. We can postpone this. We can cancel it. You can have your treatment. We'll double up. You can come on the weekend. And I was like, no. We're going to keep going, because I know I'll be fine, and I need to push through this. And it was my mind that helped me get through it. It was my, positive outlook on life that said, you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving forward. You have other people that are, dependent on you, like my 8-year-old son. So I was like, I got to keep doing this. So I had my treatments. My last treatment was December of 2008 on Christmas Eve. And I rang the bell, because you get to ring the bell when you're done with your treatments. And I was like, ooh, it's over. Thank you God, it's over. So that was, my story. And after that, I learned, like, every time I went back, in the first 2 years, you go every 6 months, and I would take people things. I would say, read this. How's your life going? I'm asking the nurses. I'm talking to other people about their situation. My mom had cancer, and she's a 15-year survivor. So we would talk to other people, and we always came to the same conclusion. It is your mind. It is the power of being positive that gets you through any type of diseases, but especially cancer. If you want to survive, if you want to get past it, those are the things that you will learn about yourself, to be positive, to make sure that you find something that is going to make you happy. And this is what I say with the whole lifestyle design, is that it will help you. It will help you get to that point. You'll learn affirmations. You'll learn how to be positive. You'll learn that, every day is not perfect, but you're meant to have a better life. You are meant to have that 4-day work week. So you need to understand that this is a good system to have in your life. And that is one of the things that I learned through having cancer and my survival. This is what you need to do. You need to be positive. You need to use your mind to, help you get to that next level. Everything is just playing with, the whole concept of, why do I need to work for someone else when I can be doing the things that I'm passionate about? And that makes it so much easier to go to your treatments. It's so much easier to get to the next year, and I'll be going into I'm almost at year 5. So once I get through the year 5, I'm in total remission. But I've never lost my faith. I've always been positive, and I think that, with your mind, these are the things that you're going to have to do. You have to focus on something that you really want, and if you really want it, you got to go after it, and that includes surviving cancer. One of the things, it was odd, I think, for me, reaching out to someone who already had it was like a big key in the initial moments. I think another thing is what you surround yourself with, your support system. It was the big thing. My family, my husband, my son at the time was only 4 years old, so obviously we didn't discuss it with him. But my mom, my dad, everybody was a forefront in saying, you'll be all right. You need to have that positive reinforcement. I think with my mom having it and me being subjected to other people who have already had it, I think that was one of the biggest things that helped me to keep my mind in the right perspective. Another thing is, I didn't do a whole lot of research. Research is wonderful, but it does not apply to everyone's situation. So the internet, books, you can't necessarily take everything you see literally, because it may not apply to you. And that also works against you as far as your mind. You go into thinking, well, this says this book says that, and I think that just deters you from saying, okay, this isn't about me, this is about, whoever this book was written about. You need to just focus on what your doctors are saying, what you feel inside, because I do have friends who won't take treatment. They do the whole holistic approach, and that's fine for them. But I always tell them, if you're going to do that, then you do it wholeheartedly for yourself, and you commit to what you're going to do. Well, I think for me, personally, and I do say that a lot of survivors, you need to just take the bull by the horns. Life is short, and I feel like when you go through that, it gives you a better perspective on what you need to focus on, which is what you truly want. Like for me, right now, mine is business. I have an 8-year-old son. I'm trying to create a legacy for him. I feel like I am determined, driven to do all the things that are, positive for him. I want to be able to say that I did all I could to make his life better and to make my life better and my husband's life better. We want to live to the fullest. We like to travel. We travel 10 times more than we used to. One of the things is I pick somewhere, like my son has spring break, so he goes somewhere every year. And it's always somewhere different, and we try to make it a learning experience, so he'll learn that there's so much more outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, the United States. There's so many opportunities for him worldwide, and for us, that this is what I focus on for him and for myself. I would just say that with the whole cancer and the whole experience, with life, there's so many challenges, so many things that you go through on a daily basis. But one of the things is be true to yourself and make sure that whatever your passion is, whatever you're feeling deep down inside, don't worry about the job, don't worry about all those things. Worry about what's going to make you happy, what's going to keep you focused, what's going to, drive you to the next day. Wake up every morning and just be like, I see the sun, it's a beautiful day, I'm so blessed to be here, and you know what, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to do something that I've never done before. Challenge yourself to do things that you would never ever have thought about doing. I mean, and you shouldn't have to have cancer to do that. Just want to do different things. Try, meet other people, network, go out, meet as many people as you can. Don't be stuck in the world that people say that you have to be in. I know nowadays, it's all get an education, go to school, you make money. That doesn't necessarily apply in today's world. So, think outside the box, do something different. Challenge yourself, challenge your family, challenge your, way of thinking, and try new things. Way prior to before I was ever diagnosed with cancer, I think I was in my early 30s, and I had like the aha moment, because my family always raised me, Tina, you go to college, you get a good education, everything will be written in stone, and you won't have to do anything, you'll be happy, and that kind of thing. I had a degree in accounting, and I found myself after 15 years miserable. And, I was bored, and I thought, why am I doing this? Like, someone else made this decision for me. I didn't make it. It's not my passion at all. And I had the aha moment, because at that time I was doing a relative's wedding, and I've always been the go-to person in my family for anything to do with celebrations. So they were like, why don't you make this into a business? Have you ever thought about it? And I thought, no, I mean, I got a degree. Why do I need to do that? I mean, that's just, adding to the pressure. But I sat down and thought about it one day, and it kind of clicked. It was like, you know what? This is what you love to do. I get excited. I get motivated. I'm like jumping for joy when someone calls and like, I need help with a wedding. I need help with a party. I need help with anything. And I found myself at work just doodling, taking notes, doing everything that was not anything to do with what I was supposed to be doing at work. So I would say, that was my aha moment. It doesn't have to be something traumatic to get you to that point. It's just sitting down and saying, okay, let me reevaluate my life. Let me see where I want to be. Let me see what triggers me. Let me see what makes me feel good about myself, what makes me motivated to get up in the morning and do something. And if you're tired and run down, and when you get ready to go to work in the morning and you're sad and grumpy, then that means it's not the place for you to be, and that you need to really think about what's going to motivate you to be a positive and be happy and move you forward. I think one of the things I would like to say is just tell people, don't live in a box. Try to step outside that box. My husband was never, I always tell people this, he wouldn't eat sushi. Every time he would be like, where would you eat something like that? And he's strictly country, from Carolina, so if it wasn't country food, he was not going to eat it. And it was one day I said, you know what, I need for you to step outside and try something different. And I said, I'll eat it, you eat it, we'll be good. And ever since then, he is in love with sushi, and now he eats all the stuff that I won't eat when it comes to sushi, which is the raw everything. I'm like, okay, but he stepped outside of the box. So I say, do that for yourself, do that for your family, and you'll be happy. My name is Tina Smith, and this is my story.